Welcome to Creative Tien channel. Today I want to review some socks yarns I got recently and show you which one is my favorite. It is very frustrating for us knitters to find the right yarn. And since I do a lot of machine knitting, the requirement is a little bit different. For machine knitters, you can buy cone yarns, but it's more specialized. And it's not easily available everywhere. Usually you have to order online through certain websites. So I prefer hand knitting yarns because you have a lot more choice everywhere, either locally or online. For the beginners, you probably find the cheapest yarn available, probably from local craft store, and you can be frustrating because it doesn't give you the result you want. There are three popular places we usually buy yarns. The first one is your local yarn store, and it's usually very small and a little bit more expensive. And many of those shops closed during COVID. The small business are just difficult to keep up, and their yarns are more expensive. But the upside is that you can go visit, touch the yarn, and feel how soft it is. And a lot of them have extra service to wind the yarn for you, or you can return them easily. And the second one is the chain stores, such as the Michaels, Joann, or Hobby Lobby. If you go to all of them, you'll find most of their yarns are very similar from those few companies. And most of the yarns are on the cheaper side. That means they're using acrylic, nylon, polyester, and less natural fiber such as cotton or wool. So the positive is that they usually have discounts, so you can find a good bargain. And they are easy to get to. You don't have to drive very far. And the downside is the selection. You probably will not find a lot of high quality yarns for your special project. And that leads to the third option for buying yarns, that is to shop online. The positive is that there are a lot of selections. You can buy the luxury yarn, or you can find the cheapest yarn in almost every color. And the big drawback is that the color you see on the screen is not the same as the color you receive. It can be just your screen monitor, it can be just their website, or it can be just the inconsistency of yarns from batch to batch. And don't forget that you have to pay extra for shipping and wait for a couple days. I shop from different online stores. KnitPicks is a very popular store. They are on the cheaper side, so that's good for beginners. Their yarns are very soft, but I find some of them are too soft and not suitable for machine knitting because it can break easily. Another one I shop all the time is the Webs or the yarn.com. They have a big selection. The price is okay. They usually have discount if you buy more. But it's the same problem. The color on the screen might not be the same as the product you receive. And that happens many times for me too. So one way is to pick a more neutral color so you don't see the weird neon or odd colors you never use. I'm sure they will accept return and replacement, but it's just a hassle to go through. Now let's go back to the yarns I got recently, from the cheapest to the most expensive one. This is the cheapest one I got recently. It has 55% nylon and 45% acrylic for 100 grams and 458 yards. So it's good value for the fingering weight. I got it because I like the color. It's kind of mix of several different colors, the red, purple. But when I receive it, I can feel it's still more acrylic, a little bit plasticky, So it's definitely not a high-end product, but it's still okay, still pretty decent, and it's machine washable and dryable. So if that's important to you, you can consider this yarn. The next budget yarn is a Baracco vintage sock. This one has 40% wool, so it feels more substantial, it feels higher quality, even though it still have half acrylic and a little nylon. So with a little bit of nylon contact, it's always good for socks. It will last longer. So that's not too bad. And this one is also 100 gram, 437 yard. So it's comparable to this one. This one is also machine washable, but no dryer. Lay flat to dry. So if machine washable and dryable is important, then you have to pick something like this. The next yarn I pick that's a little bit better than the Baracco vintage is a Cascade yarn Heritage. This is also my go-to yarn if I want to make socks for my family because it has a lot of wool content. It's 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. So this feels much better than the vintage. And with wool, it will be much warmer. So this one is also 100 grams. It says machine wash cool, tumble dry cool. Even though the label says machine washable and dryable, you just have to test it because from my experience, it gets some peeling if you machine dry it. Another reason I like this yarn is the color selection. They do have a lot of color, and it's not that difficult to find if you shop online. So I do recommend this yarn. The next yarn I like is the Valley yarns. This is the yarn from the webs or the yarn.com website, their own line of yarns. And this one is pretty sturdy. It's also 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. So that's similar to the Heritage. And for the Huntington Splash line, they have a little splash of second color, and that makes it kind of interesting. So I'm going to try that. I have 2 skeins. I think it should be enough to make a shawl. The downside of this yarn is that the color selection is limited. They don't have as many choices as the Heritage. And that brings us to the luxury yarn. Usually I don't buy the luxury yarn because they are really expensive. This one is Malabrigo. It's called Ultimate Sock. It's color 398 Rosalinda. And if you look at the yarn, it's so soft and so pretty. They are all hand dyed. This is also 100 grams. They are all about the same size. It's 75% merino superwash wool and 25% nylon. So that's the same as Heritage and the Huntington yarn. But if you have chance to touch it, you'll feel the difference. The Heritage is pretty soft, but the Malabrigo, the Ultimate Sock, is double softness. Super soft. And the color is really amazing. If you have a special project, maybe for your family or for yourself, you can splurge and use a luxury yarn. And this one says machine washable, gentle cycle, do not tumble, dry flat. Even though it's machine washable, it's usually not good for machine drying. If you're afraid of ruining your knitting, you can always hand wash and dry flat. So if you are knitting for kids or for people who doesn't like to do laundry, you probably want to go with machine wash and machine dry yarn. But if it's for yourself or for somebody who appreciates hand knit, then use luxury yarn. It will last longer and bring you a lot more joy. So besides that, I have the basic Croy socks yarn. Those are easily available from chain store like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. This is only 50 grain, so it's about half size of the schemes we talked about earlier. But the good thing is that it's still 75% wool and 25% nylon. So that's the same content as a luxury yarn. But of course, you will feel it less soft. So I do like to use these yarns because I can just go to the chain store and get it easily. Because of the wool content, they are very warm. And you can make hat, gloves, scarf, and the socks, and knowing it will be warm and good quality and it will last. But the downside is still the limited color, and they are a little bit on the pricey side compared to the acrylic yarn you can find in the craft store. I think socks weight or the fingering weight is very suitable for machine knitting. Either you have a LK 150 medium gauge or the standard gauge, or even the bulky gauge you will work too with a smaller tension. And for the coming summer, this is a good choice if you want to make a lightweight t-shirt or vest or a lacy shawl for cooler nights. For the bonus tip, if you want to shop online, you can check Ravelry website first and search for the yarn type you are thinking to buy. They have examples of different colors on different people's project and their comments. So I think that's a good resource if you're not sure which one to buy. So that's a video today. I hope it's helpful. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week.